Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of our vampire series, Salem by Night. I'm the Revenant Harcom. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. And this is a very special Camarilla episode. We are not following our usual coterie, so I want to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson as to what has been happening in West Salem. In 1980, after the beckoning happened and Geraldine Birmingham took principship of the city, one of the first coteries that she gave domain to was Otis King and his little group, and she gave them a small domain in West Salem. One of the first things that Otis and his coterie did was establish a foothold. They gave themselves a controlling interest in a small storage kind of option called Gunther's. They spent the entire year of 1980 kind of establishing a foothold, creating themselves an information network because they were so close to the bridge over the Willamette. In 1981, Otis and the coterie were becoming more of a fixture in the politics. They made friends with an Alice Valance, and they were becoming close acquaintances with Anastasia Richards and her childer, Jane Arwen. By 1982, they had set themselves up to try and push for the Primogen seat on the Ventru, which belonged to Thomas Reginald Hyde, but was undone because an ally that he thought he had on his side actually turned out to be someone that was much closer to Hyde than anything else. And by 1983, he found out that Alice Valance had been the one that set him up for failure, whereas Anastasia had always kind of pushed him to be better. By 1983, though, the coterie also goes quiet. They end up buying a kind of beat down old country music club in Salem town, and they kind of shunt themselves off to the north end of West Salem. Otis, of course, keeps Gunther's, and he starts making a play for a third piece of property, which by the beginning of 1984, he gets into a domain dispute with a Nosferatu named Paolo Antonio Marcucci, who was a bit of a gangster and was not too keen on who Otis was. But by the end of the struggle, Otis has established dominance, and he now has Silk and Soul records added to his resource retinue. 1984, though, it has been quite the year for Otis King and his coterie. He is in the middle of a praxis war. He is trying to undo Hyde once again. This time, though, there is no Primogen seat. This is full-on principship of the city. And although some of his antagonists have fallen by the wayside, there is a lot that Otis King and his coterie have done for West Salem. And one of the special things about tonight's episode is we're going to get to see Otis King and his sheriff, Manny Garza, and what they get up to on a typical kind of night. It's good to see you, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Good to see you too.
For a second there, I thought I muted you somehow, and I was just like, what did I do?
No, just having a snack.
Okay.
As usual.
Snacky snack.
So, to bring you boys up to date, in the last month, Hyde has lost several of his Primogen. He lost the Malkavian Primogen and the Bruja Primogen in the span of a week. And a few of his other remaining Primogens have more or less kind of gone to ground. The Nosferatu Primogen, of course, has sided with Otis. And so the only Primogen that Hyde has right now are the Ventru Primogen, which is Anastasia Richards, the Tremere Primogen, which is Richard Stephen Thompson, and the Toreador Primogen, which is Wesley Ian Garter. There is a Gangrel Primogen, but nobody has seen Thomas Shepard since summer ended. And one of his last appointed Primogen was kind of hastily ad hoc into a situation to repair some damage that had been done, but it is a Sombra named Konstantin Anton Ivanovich who kind of handles anybody not inside the classical tower clans. It is Saturday. It is December. The year is coming to a close. The beginning of December, there's some snow has been flurrying about. Nothing major, nothing heavy. Not recently. There's been 1 or 2 nights of some heavy snowfall, but nothing crazy has happened yet. The big issue for Otis and his coterie has been the dissolvement of the truce with the Lupines. The new alpha that has taken over recently has declared all leeches are bad and that any truce has been dissolved. So much so that your main bartender, Charlie Two Calls, has tendered his resignation. He has also mentioned that kinfolk and the like are no longer allowed to interact with kindred. He tries not to call you leeches, and inevitably stumbles and just calls you vampires. They don't know that you call yourselves kindred. The big thing now is that the controlling interest in North Salem, the kind of area of Kaiser, has been lost. There's no one there because it used to belong to the Malkavian Primogen, and as such, Sasha Vikos, the notorious Simitsi, has declared it the stronghold of a Sabbat. She has declared a bishop, and she has given notice to everyone that Grant Reynolds is been reinstated as a Templar of the Sabbat. Through avenues that you have, it is no secret that Grant Reynolds does not appreciate his appointment, but he does not want to go against someone like Sasha Vikos. And having talked to Grant Reynolds once or twice, you know that he was very keen on becoming Baron. He has a plan. He is an intelligent Bruja, which is frightening. And this is more than a hiccup for him, from what you're guessing and what you're hearing. Dimitri has come to you and told you that a Camila Borovka, who was part of Grant Reynolds' little retinue of barons, has walked away. She wishes to be an independent. She does not side with the Tower or the Sabbat. And so she has let him know, because she is also Gangrel, that anytime that she ends up on the wrong side of you, it is nothing personal, it is just business. So she understands what that means moving forward, but she also does offer her services if the price is right.
Not a lot of neutral players around, as far as I know.
There's only the Nosferatu clan. I mean, neutral in the way that they're siding with you, but they're also still kind of trying to make their domains in West Salem. There's been a few here and there. There's a Banu Hakim that some people know how to reach, called Saif Najjar. he's a true independent. Andreas Barker's sire is independent. He was part of Yvette Morrison's little group of anarchs. But once Grant Reynolds showed up and kind of established his dominance, that whole table blew apart. Also, Elizabeth Barrister is now dead and deceased. So the number of people that are available has dwindled. One of the issues that Otis recently got wind of, that I'd like to know how you handled it. You found out that Melvin and his coterie asked Dimitri to dig up information on Gertrude Hansig. Given Otis's relationship with Gertrude, how would that conversation have gone?
Remind me again who Gertrude is? Sorry.
It's fine. Gertrude, it's been a while since you've been
yeah.
You've been at the helm. Gertrude Hansig is Otis's sire.
Oh, my sire. Yeah, Gertrude. Yeah. I thought that's who it was. But
yeah.
I was like, in a while. So, sorry. Question again?
Melvin and his coterie asked Dmitry Korchagin to find information on Gertrude Hansig. They don't know who she is. They don't know what connection she has to the group. And so, for them, it is an innocent query. But when Dmitry inevitably comes up short, because he is not who Otis has gathering information for him, and so he doesn't have those skills. He inevitably comes up to you one night and he's just like, Otis, there is some people that have asked about Gertrude Hansig. John has told me that I should talk to you because you have a relationship with her. Anything that I should know that I can pass on to the people asking?
Who's asking?
Well, if I were to tell you, do you promise not to get mad?
I can make no such promises, especially with how everything is going on now, Dimitri. We are getting close.
Right. This isn't like a bad group of people. This is just, they were asking about Gertrude. John said that you have a special relationship with her, and that I should ask you personally about her. She's an anarch, right? From what I understand.
Gertrude is Gertrude.
Is she a bad person?
Gertrude is Gertrude. And I look at him. Whoever wants to know, just tell him Gertrude is Gertrude. And anybody else, she's off limits.
I understand. I will let them know.
And if they have a problem with any of those two answers, the third answer is they can come see Otis King.
Okay, I understand.
But hopefully we don't get to that third choice. for their sake.
I don't think we will. Like I said, they are not bad people. They are just, trying to find information for you.
Why?
Because
Why did they need information on Gertrude?
I didn't ask. I didn't think to ask about it. And he'll lean into you, and you'll notice that his fat raccoon kind of peeks out from behind his leg as he does. He just goes, Otis, I'm not good at the cloak and dagger things.
I know, Dimitri. I know. And I give him a little smirk, like, I know. But you are good at other things.
Very good, yes.
More than good. In fact, you are one of the best.
The meeting with him is interrupted as you see Coulson come down the stairs. Otis, I know it's short notice, but someone is here to see you if you can arrange it. And I think you're going to want to meet with him.
If that's what you think, John, I'd never object to your thoughts.
All right, I will bring him down.
Wait. Where's Manny?
I mean, he's there.
Okay.
Right behind you,
make
boss.
sure. Alright, just making sure before anybody comes into this office
Yeah.
that Manny's always present.
Yeah. Coulson goes upstairs, comes back a few minutes later, and you see him come down first, which is not normal. It's always one of your coterie comes in last when somebody's brought in. But he comes down, steps to the side, and then coming down the steps, you'll see the leather, kind of worn leather of cowboy boots, the jeans, the flannel, and heavy coat, which is unnecessary for your kind. And then you'll see the rugged kind of 5 o'clock shadow on the chin, the pale complexion, the tousled kind of sandy brown hair. The gentleman has removed his cowboy hat and he is a little worse for wear, although his appearance hasn't changed at all since you first met him. Harvey Greene looks so much more older than you remember.
Harvey?
He nods. I want to thank you for seeing me, Otis. Should I call you Prince? I don't know how formal you want me to be. I know that I'm a little outside my jurisdiction, and I assure you, he puts his hands up. I'm not here to cause a scene or to antagonize anybody. I told Mr. Coulson here that I'm waving the white flag. I'm here completely diplomatically.
No worries. Please have a seat.
I appreciate that. Otis, what do you know about what's happening in Kaiser? So I don't regurgitate information you already have.
Pretend I don't know anything at all. Tell me everything.
Well, uh, You will have to excuse the amount of information I have since all the Nosferatu have joined you. I'm kind of prodding around in the dark on my own with a couple of new people that I've had to kind of give a crash course in the finer art of information gathering, as it were. Um, like I got Marcus, and he's good at what he does, but he doesn't want to be a whip or a scourge. So, and Hyde won't let me appoint him to that kind of role, given what he is. So, you know, I'm doing the best I can. I found out Sasha Vikos was in town, and I don't know what it has to do with the death of the Malkavian Primogen, but they were seen in the area around the same time that he expired. So I have some theories that I'm playing around with. Uh, but she's taken that domain that used to be his and declared it a stronghold for the Sabbat. She's been a little emboldened. It's been a little emboldened with the current victories that are happening for the Anarch movement and a lot of the losses the Tower has taken up north. Seattle's a shit show. Portland's seen better days. I know your friend Prince Johnson and all that, and um, I wish we were more unified so we could offer our help. And you see him kind of scoff at his own thought process. Otis Hyde asked me to come talk to you.
This is interesting.
He wants you to call off the praxis.
Oh, he's planning to step down?
No. Unfortunately, he wants to keep control of the city, but he's willing to offer. He wouldn't offer you a primogen seat at the table.
That seat. The primogen seat was something years ago. It's no longer about the primogen seat. It's about, you put it best, your thought that you just had seconds ago. You can go ahead and repeat it.
What is I know that you got a lot on the line here, but Hyde still has friends in high places. And Chicago might be a shit show right now, but from what I've heard, Jackson's a fucking idiot. The Venture are gonna run him ragged, pulling favors left and right. I think Hyde means to do just that with him.
You and I both know. Hyde is offering the primogen seat, and for me to call off this situation. But everybody knows he does not want me in that seat.
I get you.
And he would do everything to keep me from making it into that seat. This has been a long time coming. I knew it from that moment.
There's a lot of good work to be done. Otis, if we can come together. The Kuei Jin fucked off. Like we are only dealing with the Vico situation and whatever, what's his name? Orston, and Hertzfeld. Those two are the only anarchs really left in the city, and they can't amount to a hill of beans, you know? We've got a blood hunt on Hertzfeld. And sooner or later, Orston's going to step out of line enough that Hyde's going to call a blood hunt too.
I look at John Colson.
Has not moved from the stairs.
He's in the room?
Yeah.
Oh, or look at John. I look at Dimitri. And I know Manny's behind, so I just nod. Is that all you have?
That was what I was sent here to deliver, yeah. As far as sharing information goes, I don't know who the bishop is. All I know is that Grant Reynolds has been appointed Templar, so he's back in the Sabbat. I know that those two knuckleheads that are left over in the Anarchs are still vying for control for some reason. So, and then Hyde's completely liquid. Otis, like, I don't know how you're gonna touch him. The guy doesn't sleep in the same place twice. He's like a fucking Ravnos.
The Red-Nosed Prince.
Yeah. Would have thought.
You know, this whole proposal, it kind of reminds me around I want to say 1954, thereabouts. You know, NATO got a request from the Soviets to join up. I think that they could already see where the war was heading. And this smells to me much of the same.
Off the record, I completely agree with you. I will be transparent with you, Otis. Hyde offered me the Primogen seat for the Bruja. I turned it down. That's not what I'm about. Since Geraldine took over, I've been about one thing and one thing alone, and that's keeping the traditions alive, making sure that we abide by the laws that we have set down for our kind, and that the masquerade is kept intact. I had a good group working on it, you know. Uh, Melvin was a good kind of mentor for a couple of kindred, and then shit went sideways. I understand why he's taken the road that he's taken. I don't blame him. I don't begrudge him.
Harvey, shit didn't go sideways. Hyde is what happened. Geraldine would still be if it wasn't for Hyde.
A lot of people are
Harvey,
talking. A lot of people are talking, Otis, that things are not adding up. And I want to tell
Harvey,
you, I understand. And off the record, I am starting to believe some of them. But I can't afford to go against Hyde. Not after what Theo Bell did, not after what my clan has been through.
Harvey.
And I'm not looking out for me,
Ger-
Otis. I'm not looking out for just me.
I understand where you're coming from. It's like you are kind of hesitant about your decision because you're not looking out for yourself. You're looking out for others. I sit here in this chair right now across from you. Not thinking about me, brother. I'm thinking about him. I point behind me. Thinking about him. I point to Dimitri. Thinking about him. I point to John. Then I point at Harvey. Everyone who sits in that chair that's like you. Those that still believed in Geraldine and the traditions. You said it. We should be united. And that's all I want.
It's gonna be an uphill battle, Otis.
I've been battling all my life for who I am and for what I am.
I know,
I'm
man.
still doing it.
I know.
Harvey, you feel safe because of Hyde? I understand. But how long would that last? Shit, man, look at you. You don't look the same, Harvey. I hardly recognize you as you step foot through that door.
In a rough couple of months. Otis, I appreciate you talking to me. And I will let Hyde know where you stand. For me, if I could ask for two favors, small favors, I don't I don't consider them too difficult, but if you want a boon, I'm willing to offer you a small boon in return.
I'll hear what you have to say, Harvey. But you gotta ask yourself, where do you stand deep down? And where do you want to stand when this is all over?
Well, uh, I know I'm not going to be sheriff once you're prince. And he kind of smiles at Manny. So I'm kind of looking forward to what some vacation time might offer me. But he stands up, he walks over to your desk, and he puts down a letter that just has um, tulip on it. First favor is just I want to make sure that this makes it into Tulip's hands. That's all. Second favor, and this is more for me than anything else, because this name has been circulating recently, and it's just I can't go a night without fucking having to deal with the ramifications of who this motherfucker is. But I know I remember your group dealt with him. What can you tell me about Marcucci?
Marcucci.
The joke I missed?
I mean,
Yes.
Bart,
A name we haven't heard in a very long time.
he's something of the past. He's
I can tell you he is most certainly not.
what do you mean by that?
This motherfucker has been causing problems for some of my agents on the border of Kaiser and Salem proper. Um, he's
Marcucci. Are you sure?
I I guarantee you there has been no greater giggling had than my current Nosferatu agent who loves to give me reports about this motherfucker.
I look at Manny. I'm like, there's no way it could be the same Marcucci. It could be relative, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if he had cousins. But coño, on one hand, I don't believe it. On the other hand, mala hierba nunca muere.
Ah, fucker.
You can never kill a weed.
Yeah. Most of his attacks have been closer to the 5 than anything else. Around the border of Kaiser and Hayesville. Um, haven't heard much of him kind of coming down past the exposition center. Um, but once you're in exposition center territory, like you're downtown, like you're in Hyde's territory, and the Ventru have eyes everywhere.
So what is Hyde doing about Marcucci?
Fucking nothing.
You think Hyde is actually using this little rat?
That's a stretch. I don't think that's how he operates.
It's Hyde. Don't put anything past him at this
Yeah, at
point.
this point, I'm not surprised.
And somebody like Marcucci, it is Marcucci himself.
I mean, Hyde's the one that told me to come ask you about him. He knows that you dealt with him before.
It's funny how Hyde has sent you to ask me not one, but now this as well.
It has not it has not gone unnoticed in my head that this could have been a suicide mission.
Not just a suicide. It's just everything else, Harvey. Tell you what, Harvey. I won't even think about this. I will look into both your favors. But you really need to think about what side you're on. And where you can benefit from. Because obviously you're here as not just one but two favors. And this one, and I hold up the letter to look. This one right here, in particular.
That's the only one I
give it
care
to-
about.
And I give it to Manny.
I take it. I point to it and I say, "Do you mind? Is it confidential?"
It's not. It's not. It's just, full transparency, Otis. She was my best agent. And for lack of a better phrase, I'm chasing my own tail without her, so I just want to make sure she's all right.
She's here. You're there. What do you think? Like I said, Harvey, search deep down inside you. Think about it.
I appreciate you not
Well,
killing
look-
me, Otis.
It's not me you have to worry about.
I know. There's a lot of sharks in Hyde's pool.
Like I said, I'm not going to think about doing these favors for you. I will look into it. But like I said, we don't got sharks over here on this side of the pool.
Yeah, he looks over at Dimitri, who's holding um his raccoon up to his chest like a baby Bjorn. And then he looks back at you. Yeah, the water's completely different on this side. I get that.
John will see you out.
Thank you for your time, Otis. He walks out. John follows behind.
John, a word once you see him out.
Understood. I'll be right down. Does Manny open the letter? It's not sealed.
Absolutely.
It's a simple postcard. It has the image of the Orpheus Theater on it, which is ironic considering that it was um, destroyed in the final attack that pushed the Quajin out of Salem. But it just says, I know you've chosen to follow your clan, and I understand that that's what's best for you right now. I don't know if I had just gotten used to having you around all the time, but I definitely have noticed your absence since this whole thing went south. I just want to warn you that Kathy is poking around in dangerous circles, and some of those friendly, in quotes, faces are the exact opposite. Do right by her. She's a firecracker, but I can see why you chose to pass on our gift, also in quotes. You know where to find me. Don't be a stranger. And it's signed Harvey. About 15 minutes goes by and John Coulson comes back down. He goes over and he sits right where Greene was sitting. By the predicament.
What the fuck was that?
What does Hyde have on this guy? I mean, it would be so easy for him to just, jump the pot.
Yeah, it would be easy too to just force him to see our cause and everything, but I don't want to do what Hyde has or is doing to him. I want to do the complete opposite. Also, Makuchi.
How? Tell me how. This is insane.
This is terrible timing with everything that's in the works.
To be fair, Otis, we never saw the body.
Yeah, this is terrible timing, John.
And as you have given us, we all now have the ability to withstand some fire and sunlight. Maybe he was prepped as well.
This is just an interesting piece on the board now.
I can reach out, see if there's any of his holdings that have been reactivated or reignited. Given that Greene said he was active in Salem proper, I would imagine he pulled out of West Salem.
Yeah, find out what you can. Find out if this is even Makuchi to begin with, or maybe somebody just a copycat.
Hey, did they ever finish that club of his? What was it called?
No. That was one of the few casualties that we still have under our belt.
Yeah. We need to get Harvey on our side.
Agreed.
I think he's already pretty much on our side. There's just something that's holding him back.
What do you think, John? You think the same?
It's very, very clear by his tone, his body language. I won't sugarcoat it, Otis. He's right about being a Bruja in this time period. There's a lot of antagonization towards them, given what Theo Bell did. I can count the number of Bruja that are loyal to the tower on one hand that I know of personally. Given what Hyde's done to Marcus Bradley, I wouldn't be surprised if he's done the same thing to Greene.
I don't put nothing past that. Oh, man.
I can ask Thompson about it.
Yeah, look into that as well. We need to look into the whole Makuchi, and we need to look in to see what Hyde has on Harvey. It looks. He looked. Man, he looked like shit.
Was for where? 100%.
I'll when I deliver this, I'll ask Tulip to see if there's anything that we can do to help him.
Yeah, find out. Yeah, she might know something that we don't know about Hyde and Harvey's relationship as well, and see what we can, how we can help our dear friend Harvey see the light before he actually does see the light in other ways.
John takes a moment and he looks you straight in the eye and he goes, Otis, I have been working on something to deal with the issue of the lost filing cabinet. Would you be opposed to me adding some protective wards to the club?
Not at all. You don't. You already know very well, John, how we all work here.
I just want to make sure because it doesn't involve me having to kill someone. That's what we have the dumpster for out back.
Exactly.
He stands
And we
up.
also have the dumpster and also Manny.
Right. Also, um, I have left some breadcrumbs for our associate with the ability to rewrite reality, so he won't be bothering us for some time.
Good.
He should be spending some time in Portland for the foreseeable future.
Once again, since the four of us are here, I know it goes without question, but having this conversation with Harvey, I must ask, are the three of you still willing to go the distance? Made it this far, boys.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
Dimitri just looks at you. What? How far is this distance that we are traveling? Will I have to pack a suitcase? And John just looks at
Maybe.
him, metaphorical. Oh, I have never been there. Is it nice? And John just kind of looks at you. You know our answer, Otis.
Yeah, I know. Just wanted to make sure that we're all at four but one in the end. Because maybe the prince, that's what they all see. We're all the prince, the four of us here.
John stops at the base of the stairs and he turns around. Otis, I have a theory. It's far-fetched, but what if Because Marcucci was a Nosferatu. And he comes back over, he pulls from his inside jacket pocket a picture and he puts it on the desk, and it's a picture of a still frame from the video of the plague doctor having broken into your containment unit container at Gunther's. He goes, what if these two are one and the same? At least for us.
Manny takes a close look at the picture. Says, man, this outfit looks entirely too classy for a little cucaracha.
I agree. But
Maybe that's doesn't sound so far-fetched, John.
rumors didn't start circulating about this plague doctor until summer ended. And a lot of the right people were given the right piece of information about him that is disseminated into the wrong people's interests.
Not just that. Nobody was aware of Gunther, per se. However, Marcucci, on the other hand, always wanted Gunther.
This is why I've started kind of trying to piece it together this way.
It could be one and the same. You could be right. Not a far-fetched theory at all. Fucking Marcucci. A fucking thorn in my ass.
If it's right, it does save us from stretching ourselves thin. Because instead of trying to find Marcucci, trying to find the plague doctor, trying to find this other avenue, we can narrow those two down to one.
Exactly.
It'll be awfully convenient.
We find a little convenience.
Where did Harvey say this Marcucci's whereabouts again? Hanging out? More or less?
North end of the city, between Kaiser and Hayesville. We don't have any agents over there.
You remember when we first started out? We had nobody. And we took a drive out to see Marcucci ourselves.
Which car do you want to take, Otis? If I'm understanding what you're putting out.
I say we keep it nostalgic, my friend. Let's keep it classy.
Okay.
Let's get some fresh air and see what's out there. We've been cooped up in this office.
Yeah.
I'm sure Musu could use some fresh air as well. Right, Dimitri?
Musor is always good with car drive.
I guess he's not driving.
Oh, no, I would not trust him to drive car. He is too reckless.
Although I bet he can.
If
You
I
didn't see what
operate
he
the
did.
pedals, he could definitely move the steering wheel.
You didn't have to see what he did to Dimitri's car last time.
A favor is what he did to him. Car was a
Alright,
piece of shit. I'm driving. Come on.
It is okay. I
understood.
prefer taking the wolf form anyway. But yeah, you guys pile up in the Cadillac, the Caddy.
Yeah, no, it was an Impala, right?
Oh, the
No, wait,
Impala.
who had the Impala? Was it you?
No,
What did you
Colson had
have?
the Impala. No.
Yeah.
Sh-
Colson had the Impala. I had the 1967 Cadillac Eldorado, hot pink.
Yeah, we all have classy. Okay, let me rephrase that.
Dimitri does not have a car.
Three out of the
Anymore.
four. Three out of the four.
75%
Three
of
out of the
you
four
have cars.
had. Well, he had that station wagon or whatever it was. Yeah, we're not driving in that.
Okay.
Or yeah, we'll keep it the black Impala.
All right. Yeah. You drive down through West Salem. You can see the fruits of your labor. The city has become a little safer, um, at least for Kindred. The the ramifications of what dissolving the truce with the Lupines still haven't kind of rippled out, so we won't know what they're going to do to you. But given that all of the atrocities are going to be taking place in northern Salem proper, I think you guys might be safe for a little bit. Uh, but you drive across the bridge, you see that the old spot where um, Erickson's bar used to be is now a family-friendly arcade. About to close by the time you come across the bridge, and you follow the road up until you get to that kind of sweet spot between Kaiser and Hayesville. There's a little area, excuse me, called Northgate that kind of sits between the two. How are you going to start your investigation?
We're gonna head to the first spot that this guy said, Harvey.
Okay.
Check that place out first.
Yeah.
Just like old times.
Yeah. You
Just,
you drive to what is the husk of the Malkavian Primogen's estate. Um, it looks like the city hasn't started anything. There's a bunch of notices and things like that. It looks like they've built a trailer for the cleaning operation and the construction of whatever is going to replace what was here. But the appearance of the estate is an old, classic southern plantation home. But it has been burnt down for the better part of a couple of weeks.
interesting.
You guys start looking around. John and Dimitri kind of sneak into the actual estate grounds. You and Manny kind of stick around outside by the car. Um, you can see that there is the remnant of a single lane, like a single wheel that looks like it burned out from here. Given that
A wheel?
given that Manny has started riding around on the motorcycle, very clearly a thicker bike, a thicker wheeled bike.
So this place that looks like a plantation has been burned down.
Yeah, it was burnt down almost 3 weeks ago now, and on the street, uh, pulling away from it towards the east and towards the five is a single heavy and thick kind of motorcycle wheel imprint on the street.
So like a chopper.
Mm-hmm.
Good riddance to this place, though.
The
Do
wheel
Lost
looks
Souls,
recent, though.
do the Lost Souls go around in choppers or more normal Harleys?
They're more of a Harley group, kind of like chill riding bikes. Um, this looks more like a heavier framed motorcycle.
Gotcha.
This looks like something that might have a sidecar or could be equipped with a sidecar.
Friends of yours, Manny?
I don't think so, no. This is a little bit different than what my friends ride. It's an unknown, to be sure. Taking note.
Yeah, it would be best to find out with Andreas, right? What's his name?
Yeah.
Andreas.
Could give him a call to see if he knows of any other. I mean, of course, he's not gonna know every single person that rides motorcycles in the entire fucking city, but uh, he might know something. So
I mean, if it's more of a sidecar. You don't see those too much. That's not something you see out on the streets too much.
not these days, no.
You see Dimitri suddenly put down the raccoon. Um, and him and John come over to you guys. And they just kind of like point to their ear and turn their heads. And it sounds like a trio of motorcycles are making their way towards you.
It looks like we're gonna get our answer sooner than expected.
Sure looks like that.
Are you ready for anything?
You need a piece, boss?
Hmm?
You need a piece?
Yeah. I'm all right.
You see three motorcycles coming up the street. Two of them are in the lead. One of them is kind of riding back like a little backwards V. And as they ride by, they kind of take notice of you, but they don't stop. They keep riding. Manny will be the first one to realize that they're not free souls. They have black leather jackets. They have a very different insignia on the back. It is a little what you would imagine like a 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons imp with like a pitchfork. And on the top it says devils, and on the bottom it says disciples.
Oh, that's not local, that's for sure. You know what? Let me hit up Andreas about it.
Sounds good.
Does he have like a? I mean, he definitely has like a regular hunt. I can probably just call him through the car phone.
Yeah. You'll get one of the free souls, and they'll pass on the message to him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, let them know about the disciples and ask if there's any information they can pass on to me. If they're known for using bigger, more heavy duty bikes.
Yeah, the guy that answers the phone, they call him Crunch, and he's just like, yeah, we've been dealing with them. They came into town like maybe a week ago. They've been real pains in the asses. I hear Andy's been the one that's really dealing with them. Looks like they're focusing on him and his group. But they've been real asshats as far as like taking up space, making it difficult for us. Police are kind of just stopping anybody with a bike now, and it's been real difficult to kind of like do things for Andy and for ourselves mostly. So we've kind of been relegated to kind of running around with cheapo cars here and there, and just to get things done. You know. But yeah, they've been around for about a week. They got bigger bikes. Most the ones with the bigger bikes though are going to be like the higher ups, like the sergeants or the lieutenants. Regular guys, they haven't been in the club long enough to afford something that nice, you know.
Sounds good. I appreciate the information.
Yeah, I'll let Andy know that you called.
For sure. If he can get back to me whenever he can, I'll appreciate it.
Yep, sure. But you finished talking on the phone. Did you guys drive off, or did you guys stay at the estate?
No, I guess we
Uh,
can. What do you think?
I mean, if Dimitri and Colson couldn't find anything, then we should probably start moving on.
Yeah. There's some debris that looks like it's covering a stairway that goes to a basement. But that would require them like actually moving shit and disturbing the crime scene. I use quotations for a 3-week-old crime scene.
Right.
No. There's another spot that Harvey said.
You could try going to the other side of the five into Hayesville, seeing what's up there. Kind of driving around and seeing.
Yeah, we'll take a stroll and see if anything. That's already in Hyde's territory, or no?
No. North Salem used to be all the Malkavian Primogens.
Mm-hmm.
Hayesville is a kind of no man's land. Excuse me. Yeah, the closest person that would have a domain by Hayesville is Thompson, the Tremere Primogen. His bar is near Hayesville.
And Thompson, he's with Hyde, right?
Thompson's, yeah, he's a Tremere Primogen.
Yeah. And I'm sure he doesn't like John.
They have a working relationship since they're both Tremere, but
Yeah.
John is not part of House Tremere. He's House Karna, so they have differences.
Alright. Alright, we're just gonna take a stroll by, see if anything pops out, more or less. If not, we'll just take a drive by.
Mhm.
We won't even get down. It's just a nice little stroll
Yeah.
around the city and town, and then head back if we don't see anything.
Yeah. Um, as you're leaving the area, it's not too difficult to notice that you have a tail. Manny's driven for you for the longest time. He's used to looking for the telltale signs and for doubling back and doing things. And after a couple double backs and some shucking and jiving, some weaving, for sure you have realized that you have a tail. It's a motorcycle, a single motorcycle that's staying about 3 or 4 car lengths at least back. But it has been following you since you left the Primogen's estate.
What do you want to do about this, boss?
Is there 4 cars behind us? Like, are there cars behind us, or he's just
No,
that
there's like
distance?
1 or 2 cars behind you, but he is further back.
Okay.
Like he is keeping his distance.
Because I was just gonna tell Manny to like just go in reverse. I mean, we're in a car. He's in a motorcycle, so
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was thinking, go to a less trafficked area and, meet a new friend, ask him some questions.
let's meet our new friend, our Dwayne fan.
Yeah. It's not difficult.
Eh.
This far north in Salem, there's a lot of free areas. um, so you find a bit of area closer to the 5, but um, still on the Kaiser side of things. You haven't even passed Portland Road yet. You're kind of in a nebulous area on the other side of Verda Lane, and you pull over. What are you doing once you stop the car?
So, what I'm thinking of doing is Dimitri has office state, right?
Yeah, he's got it from you.
So I'm thinking he gets out of the car
Mhm.
while we're driving,
Sure.
waits there for the motorcycle to get near him, and then grab him. And at that point, we stop, back up, get off the car, have a conversation.
Okay. Easy enough. You
Yo,
pull over. You let you let Dimitri
Bacon,
and the raccoon out of the car,
fucking
and
bear. He's gonna get attacked by a bear.
and you start driving off. You see Dimitri slink into the alleyway between buildings. You assume that he's gone invisible. Pull the shadows in around him, and sure enough, the raccoon is kind of like pretending to be noticing something. Like this is not the first time you have used Dimitri as a distraction or initiator, and the raccoon has his act. You know, he knows what his part of the act is, and he's just like he picks up a can of soda. He's just like looking at it. He's like moving it around. Um, Musor very clearly has been a familius for 4 years. And so it has become this very intelligent monster of a raccoon. Uh, it's not great at pretending to do what it does. Like it's the equivalent of a fourth or fifth grader in their kind of talent show. It's exaggerated. When it pretends to die, like it throws its hands up, it kind of spins and then throws itself on its back and um, lets its tongue out. Like it is a ham. Um, and right now, as you're driving away, it is looking almost like the gravedigger in Hamlet. Like he is holding this can almost like Yorick's skull. Like if it was a human actor, you would expect them to go into the "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him" Horatio whole speech. Uh, but the motorcycle comes around and it slows down to look at the raccoon, and very fourth grade, the raccoon just kind of throws the can up as if it is startled. And as it does, it turns to run away, and that's when you see the shadows just kind of rip away from Dimitri as he spears this guy off his motorcycle and into the opposite side of the street. The motorcycle kind of wobbles for a little bit and then just crashes to its side. You can just hear the scraping. You can see the sparks from the little bit of momentum that it still had kind of dragging by. And now that Manny has had a motorcycle and had time with the Free Souls, like it's a little bit of a pain. It's a painful moment for you.
It hurts.
But yeah, it's a little bit.
Really
It's a little bit
thinking
of a
that
bigger
fast?
bike. It's not too much bigger than a Harley, but the wheels are thick boys. It looks like it's made to go traveling. This is a traveling bike. But yeah, you stop, you pull the car in reverse. Dimitri's on top of him like a rabid dog, kind of holding him down, frothing at the mouth.
Um,
Musor comes over and just kind of like grabs the top of his head and just holds the guy down.
he's doing a ratatouille. Before we go talk to him, I do stop, get off the car, pick up the bike,
Yeah.
kind of like wipe a little bit. Like,
Just the whole side of it is scratched to hell. You're just like,
oof,
this will buff right out.
Manny, you got yourself a new bike.
probably. Just need some TLC.
Whole new paint job. But yeah, you hear the guy, get off of me! Get off of me, you fucking maniac! He's kicking and struggling, but Dimitri doesn't move. He's like a stone on top of this guy. But you guys come up to him.
Well,
Hey, get this guy off me. Want to help?
no, not really. Who are you?
I mean, what does that matter to you? You know? I'm just here out for a drive. This maniac comes out of nowhere, tackles me off my bike.
I look at this person. How does this person look?
They're wearing a Queen's Night at the Opera, like black t-shirt. The leather jacket, there's like a little bit of what looks to be a flannel shirt underneath between the t-shirt and the jacket. Jeans, heavy boots. Um, very light cloth gloves. His helmet has kind of slid off of him and rolled away. Clean shaven, dark hair, brown eyes, kind of like a hooked nose, like he's taken a few punches to his face and not healed correctly.
Owen Wilson.
What do you
I'm
want?
gonna ask one more time.
I ain't got no money
I
for
don't
you.
think you're in any. I don't think you're in any position to be asking questions right now. I'm gonna ask one more time, and then that raccoon that's standing right over your head will do something. If we don't like the answer you give us, so we're gonna start there. Who are you?
John,
Look at the
Just
raccoon.
John.
I don't like that answer. Manny, do you like that answer?
I don't like that answer either, man. I like last names. You know, they give you a little bit of a distinguished air. You know, people without last name, they just don't inspire confidence.
John, do you like this person using your name like that?
can't say I do, Otis.
Dimitri?
I don't think he looks like a John to me. Like a Brian with a Y. Like obnoxious Brian.
You know what? I like that. I'm gonna call you Brian. Then I like put my knee on his chest. I say, "So Brian, why do you like us so much?"
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just out for a drive, man.
Just out for a drive to all the exact same places that we have been out for a drive in. I don't know, Brian. I don't see it.
Just coincidence, man. That's all it is. Coincidence. Why are you so heavy?
Come on, Brian. Why you gonna insult me like that? You know, Brian, 2 turns is coincidence. 3 turns is suspicious. I don't even know how many turns you were behind us, but it was a lot more than 3.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. I was just cruising, man. There's no destination when you're cruising.
It seems to me like your destination was the back fender of a car, though. So I'm gonna ask you again, you know, before things get a little uglier. Who are you, and what do you want with us, Brian?
The amount of salt on the way you said Brian.
Like
tickles me.
I really wanted to do the explosive B, like Billy,
Yeah,
but you know,
yeah.
my lips were a little dry at the moment.
Brian.
Brian. Brian. And then I
Fucking
can hear
Brian.
Dimitri with a Y. With a Y.
Yeah. He goes, look, man. We were told to keep an eye on the house. All right. That's all I know.
By who?
The big guy.
Yeah, that sure narrows it down. You know, everybody knows that Salem is a very health conscious city.
I don't know his name, man. We just call him Moneybags. All right.
You got a description of Moneybags, Brian?
Yeah, man. Look, he's older cat, beard, kind of talks like your friend with the raccoon.
See, that I wasn't expecting. Doesn't look like Colonel Sanders at all.
No,
What does he look like?
like a meaner Santa Claus.
How how does he dress?
Like he's got money. Fancy suit, tie, vest, whole nine, man. Whole nine. Want to move your knee?
I'm pretty comfortable.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're comfortable.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, my comfort.
You see Musor pull on the guy's hair and he starts chittering at him. And Dimitri's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. He has it under control. You don't need to react so violently to be incensed.
All right. So, Russian accent, big beard, well dressed. Ring any bells? I asked the others.
I started thinking, does this description match Marcucci?
It does not. Marcucci was fucking rail thin,
Yeah.
emaciated, ugly, no beard.
Yeah.
Had a 5 o'clock shadow, like an eternal 5 o'clock shadow. But no,
Yeah,
that's completely different.
Yeah.
John kind of tilted his head for a second. It's just like that. I mean, it's not exactly on point, but it sounds very similar to the images I've seen of Hertzfeld.
Okay. We're getting somewhere. What's with
Any
the house?
reason why he would be watching us?
The guy's like, I don't know, man. We're told to watch the house.
Why the house?
I don't know. It had sentimental value or some shit.
The house burned down 3 weeks ago. Or so.
I don't know, man. I've been here for a week. I don't know what's going on.
What's with the house?
I don't know. Burnt husk. That's all I know.
Are you with the disciples?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's about as much as he knows. Because, I mean, if he knew anything else, he would tell us, right?
For sure.
Considering that he understands the position that he's in.
Yep. 100%. It's an uncomfortable position, man.
Yeah. It serves a purpose, though.
What else can you tell us? What else have you seen? What else have you heard?
That's it, man. Just we've been casing out the house mostly at night.
Why?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Where can we find who sent this? What was it, Mr. Moneybags?
I don't know where
Well-
Moneybags is. He always comes to us.
And where is this?
A few of us are staying at the motel off of the 5. He looks at you. He goes, "It's off of Sunnyview. It's right off the 5 in Sunnyview, man. That's all I can tell you."
I lean over to Otis. What you want to do with him, boss?
Part of me wants to feed him to Musu. The other part of me is that we should go pay a visit to Mr. Moneybags with him.
With him?
Yeah. So this way Mr. Moneybags knows also who was it that told us about him.
Whatever you say, boss.
What do you think?
I think we really don't have a lot of use for him.
Do you think he's telling the truth?
Possibly. Probably. I wouldn't be lying if I was as scared as he seems to be.
Is he Kindred, the dude on the floor?
Not at all.
Can we tell if he's a ghoul or something?
No. John can.
Ah,
John would have to taste his blood.
What do you think, John? What do you think about him?
If you want me to ascertain if he's telling the truth or not, I can't help you, but I can determine whether or not he has connections to one of our kind.
Proceed.
And he very, very gently, very John Colson of him pulls out a handkerchief, wraps it around like the midway point of the guy's arm as he brings it up, and then he bites. Takes a bit, and then licks the wound close, and then will wipe the arm with the rubber, with the handkerchief that he has, and then kind of scrunch it up, put it in his pocket. Nope, run of the mill. He is not in any way, shape, or form special. And the guy, the guy under Manny is just like, "You don't have to be hurtful, man."
Well, I'll leave it up to Manny to decide what to do with you.
Dimitri, is that too much for Mushu to handle?
This a little big, yeah, yeah. We would have to chop him up into little bite-sized pieces. And the guy's eyes widen when you say that. When he hears that,
Is there anything else you may have forgotten? Maybe you might want to tell us now.
I can tell you that I'll forget everything that happened. I'll tell you that right now. I will not come back to Salem.
Manny?
Yeah, I don't know if I believe him.
I have a very strong survival instinct. I can tell you that right now.
Tell you what. How about we let you go?
I like it.
I know you like it. And in exchange, you let us know the next time Moneybags comes around.
I don't want to be here anymore. Your friend bit me
Yeah.
and sucked my blood.
Unfortunately,
And you want to feed me to a raccoon. I don't want to be here anymore.
I'm sorry. Okay.
unfortunately for you, buddy,
So out of
the only
character right now.
way that you're gonna be able to stick around as not lunch is to do what we say. After that, you can just scamper.
I just gotta tell you when he comes back, and that's it.
When and where.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
I'll
Oh,
get in contact with him.
uh,
You have
if
business
by
cards
any
for
chance,
the bar.
yeah, if by any chance it ever reaches my ears that you told anybody anything about this conversation,
Never happened, man.
saying getting eaten by a raccoon is gonna seem like a vacation.
What raccoon? I don't see a raccoon.
Wonderful. I'm glad we understand each other. So next time that little meet happens, you call that number
Mm,
and then you skip down.
yep.
You don't want to be here for the rest of it.
No, I don't.
All right. There's your bike. Sorry about the scratches.
The moment
And
you
like
get up,
I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like genuinely, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I
But
know.
the moment you let your knee up, he just lets out this long breath and just starts coughing and turns to his side, holding his chest. Oh my god, just so heavy.
Damn it, Brian, what did I tell you about being insulting, man?
But yeah, he puts the card in his pocket, and he immediately not immediately, like he does wobble to the bike holding his chest, but he kicks it over. He groans a little bit as he kind of hops up and then comes down, and drives off. One hand on his chest, one hand on the handlebars.
I think that went pretty well.
Yeah, man. I mean, all things considered, that was more pleasant than I even expected. Like, at this point, I take out my little Ziploc of organs, and I like wave it over to Mushu. It's like, hey, sorry, I took your meal, buddy. You want a little snack? Little snacky snack?
It looks up and it starts to sniff the air and then it just looks down, sticks his
I,
tongue out.
I figured nobody ever wants a snack.
Yeah. And Dimitri just kind of like picks him up and is like, I have candy back home. I give you candy bar when we get home.
Yeah, man, you gotta chill it with the candy. I mean, that's why he's a little pudgy.
It's all muscle. It's not fat.
Yeah. Dimitri, you should really listen to Manny. The sugar and everything.
Yeah, he needs protein. He needs for the grains. The full whatever they call.
Yes, yes. I give him raisins for protein.
That's not protein.
Great amount of protein for him.
I can't. Just walk back into the car.
Yeah. Where you guys headed? Back to the bar?
Yep.
All right.
Just like old times, huh?
you are deep in Hyde's territory. Like, you're in Salem proper now.
Oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
I mean, do we? Are we scared? There's the four of us. Who's gonna touch us?
It's true. But as the four of you take off and start heading back across the Willamette to safer territory, I think this is a good spot to call it for tonight. So I want to thank you both for being a part of this very special episode. We get to see a little bit of what Otis has to go through in the Praxis War. We get to see a little bit of that old interaction with the four of you as best as possible. But yeah, man. I think it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes from here. What are you going to say?
It's been good. No, it was great. Like, thank you, Joey, for bringing for taking Otis King to other levels that I have yet to do.
Ideally, anytime that we can get Otis, your Otis, back on screen, I will always defer to you. But yeah, man. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching at home. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this. I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're into. So, Ike, where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found, and what are you up to?
I never want to be found. That's why I have no social media.
I understand.
But you could find me back on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, in sometime in August, for Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf of the Wild West.
Yep, a couple weeks and we'll be back.
So you'll find me there every Tuesday, and then any other games that you are running, any one shots on the weekend, or any other games that can fit in my schedule. And every now and then, I try to make an appearance as Otis King.
Yep.
If not, it's in good hands with you, as well as all our other characters, the rest of the group. What you have done with them is phenomenal.
Julio, where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found, and what else are you up to?
I mean, as of right now, I'm just here every now and then. And yeah, like if people would like to see like my old stuff, there's also the 3B Radio YouTube channel, where some of our old videos are still on there. But yeah, most of I don't have a very big social media footprint, so to speak.
Okay.
Bring back your musketeer in 7C.
Oh yeah,
bring them back.
We talked about a Montanian maybe joining. We'll see what happens. It's a wild crew. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for being a part of this. The schedule, as always, Mondays are for Vampire the Masquerade. It's a 2-part story. We deal with an Anarch chapter, and then a Camarilla chapter. Today was a very special Camarilla chapter. So next week we'll go and see what the Anarchs are going to get doing as they go and meet with Otis King and find out some very interesting information. Tuesdays right now are on break, but it is for Legend of the Five Rings or Werewolf of the Wild West. They alternate Tuesdays. And every other Thursday right now, I am running a 7C campaign because I haven't found something else to pair with it just yet. But I am always reading different systems, and I have a couple that I want to try to toss some names out there and see who signs up for them. But otherwise, you can catch me on McStabber Studios as well. I'll be there on Wednesday for their Dark Ages game. We have 2 episodes left this season where I play a La Sombra Spaniard who is the child of Moncada. So that's if you're a vampire loreist, it's a very tasty name to throw around. I was running a Star Wars game for them on Fridays, but that came to a close, and so we'll see what else pops up in the future. But as always, thank you for being here. Also, on the channel, we take mental health very seriously. So if you feel like you need help and you're watching live, be aware that there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat. They'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube later. A lot of people need to be reminded that it is okay to not be okay. So if you need help, please understand that there are resources out there to help you. There are phone numbers, there are text lines and things like that. If you're not in the United States, or if you're having trouble finding some place near you, there's a link going up as well. So you can find those resources in the areas nearest you, because mental health is part of our general health, and if one goes, the other is sure to follow. So just take care of yourselves, and if you're a friend or family member of somebody that is normally a happy or stronger personality, please check in on them. You never know how a simple hello or how are you text can change the trajectory of somebody's life. So, be kind. Being nice leans towards being performative. So be kind. Kind is genuine. Kindness goes a much longer distance than just being nice. And as always, once again, thank you to Julio and Ike for reprising the characters that they came up with and really created the whole basis of this Praxis War. I don't know where Salem would be without the two of you and the four original characters that delved into this crazy storyline that I started. So thank you guys for that and for being a part of this. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and have a good night. Bye.